I didn't press there, but okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Danganronpa Antebellum Lockdown. Last time we got our motive, it was really fucking fast. It's like immediately. Alora is now in charge. That's basically the motive. Alora gets to do shit. And she's probably gonna go on a power trip, not gonna lie. It's gonna happen sooner rather than later. If I had to take a guess. Now we gotta go find Lyra. Right, yeah, because nobody's here. Go check Ezekiel and her rooms. Maybe she won't be in Ezekiel's. Can I talk to you? What the hell do you want? Should I try talking to Amelia? I don't know why you keep bothering me. What do you want? I just want to talk to you. Try to understand you. Well, you're not getting anything. I thought I made that more than clear. Really? Nothing? Can't even tell me your favorite color? Is it not fucking obvious? Yellow? Oh my god. I'm just curious. It's better you don't know anything about me. But you know everything about me. That can't be fair. This whole situation isn't fair and you know it. Live with it. Just one fact about yourself. That's all I'm asking for. Will it get you to leave? Of course, if that's what you want. I like cats. Especially scruffy little strays with bobtails. Or black cats. I like black cats a lot. With their piercing little yellow eyes and pupils that look like those tibi-taba boba pearl things. That's why they made Ron a Neko a cat. Thought it would help me settle in better. There, is that enough for you? That's really sweet, actually. It would be pretty fucking sweet if you can get the hell out now. Right, of course, I'm going. I don't think he wants to talk anymore. Alright, Lyra. It's not in here. I hate this. Why can't I walk through there? Why'd I have to go around? Hey, there you are. Okay, let me save here, because I mess up a lot. Hey, Lyra. What's up? I didn't know you relapsed. I'm sorry to hear. Oh god, not this shit. Sorry, did I say something wrong? I don't need your apologies or sorries or pity or whatever. I'm good, really. It's not like a big deal. It was always going to happen. Don't act all sympathetic over it. It's just gonna make me feel worse. I shouldn't have assumed. I won't bring it up if you don't want me to. That's shockingly considerate for your standards, actually. Thanks? I'm sorry, I knew you were just trying to be nice, because I'm just kind of on edge from this motive, or whatever. Offer to take your mind off it. Well, hey, if you'd like a distraction, we can always talk for a bit. Yeah, fuck it, why not? I think that it could help, actually. Every single time I talked to Lyra, I became a little more concerned about her, but also increasingly aware of how contradictory she was. She seemed to be impressively self-aware when it came to certain things, but completely oblivious when it came to the other bits. I always had to brace myself to have my perception of her changed with every one of these one-on-one conversations we had, but this time I was presented with something far more unexpected. Hey, wanna hear something cool? Yeah, sure. So, you know how stars are just, like, really far away suns, right? They're constantly going through nuclear fusion at their cores, making elements into heavier ones. Hydrogen into helium, helium into carbon, etc., etc. All the way up to the stuff we need to live, like oxygen. I think I'm following, although I've never been much of a scientist. Right, so eventually stars burn out and explode in a bigas supernova, which eventually leads to a black hole. But that doesn't matter. The supernova does. When the supernova happens, all that carbon, oxygen, all the elements the star had made scatters throughout the universe and drifts endlessly and purposefully for billions of years. Yeah. Well, like, our own solar system was made from all that stardust bunching up together and eventually forming over trillions of years. Which means everything, every tree on the planet, every rock, everything in the air. It's all made out of stardust. We're constantly enveloped in stardust. But more importantly, at our core, we're made of stardust. We literally have stardust in our blood, in our bones. Isn't that fucking sick? Well, I'm not sure it's exactly that, but oh, stop being such a loser. It's the coolest shit ever! Don't pretend it's not. It doesn't make you look cool. But isn't it crazy that something as small as us is made out of something as big as that? We basically are the universe. Even if a tiny little speck of dust of it in the grand scheme of things. But more importantly, once again, we're made of the same thing as stars. Maybe that's why I like hearing about people and how they work so much. I've always been obsessed with stars. In fact, when I was little, I actually wanted to be an astrophysicist, if you can believe it. I thought stars and the wider universe and all that was sick. It was crazy to me to think how big this universe really was. When I thought about how small we really are in the grand scheme of things, it made my stupid problems seem basically non-existent. But I'm high-key, low-key. Low-key, high-key, shut up maths. So that was kind of a bust. But, you know, we all have dreams as kids. So, what are you trying to say here? I don't know. I just think it's cool as hell. It's just that usually you'd start going into something about your life outside the game or your mentality. This just feels like a really normal discussion for your standards. Am I not allowed to be normal? I mean, you are. It's just you don't have to keep things bottled up if you need to talk. I mean, like, yeah, I get that, but you're not a therapist, man. I don't know. I just want to have one normal conversation where it doesn't feel like you're judging me or, you know. I just don't want to have to think about how fucked up my life really is for a bit, if that's okay. Oh! Sorry, I mean, like, it's probably also an exaggeration. I'm being dramatic, but I know things can't keep going like this. I know that. I'm not an idiot. Things have spiraled to a point where I'm hurting people, and I told myself I'm okay with that I'm happy being a terrible person, but I'm really not. But that takes a lot of work, and I don't know if I'm ever going to make it to that point, so sometimes I just want to be normal. I don't want to feel like I'm different or stand out, or any of that. I mean, we can do that. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I've got a bunch more facts if you want to hear them. I just feel like they're kind of boring. I find them interesting. Dude, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not. I genuinely want to hear it. You seem weirdly content when you're talking about stuff you're passionate about. Huh, well, if you're sure. In fact, I think I prefer it when you talk about your actual interests. It feels a lot more you. How do you know that this isn't just the me I'm making for you? Because you and I know you don't want to keep going as you were. Plus, what do you even have to get out of me? I don't know, there's something a little attractive about weird, scrawny, nerdy boys. Lyra. I'm kidding. You're just fun to mess with, man. Well, if you're okay with me talking about weird, boring shit, you know how we moved all of the plants from Mint's cell into Zeke's just before it got closed off? Well, Zeke doesn't know the first thing when it comes to plants. Granted, neither do I, but, you know. He started getting all distressed when they started wilting, which, yeah, I got. So I thought I'd try to take care of them myself. I thought it couldn't be too hard. It's just water and sunlight, isn't it? Boy, was I wrong! Is it really that much more complicated? Oh, let me tell you, you sweet, naive little soul. Some of them want really specific humidity. They all want different levels of water, and you can only figure it out through trial and error, and some of them need to be misted. That's like plant food, but it only works on some of them, and others just fucking die if you even put it near them. So I'm guessing it's kind of tough. Nah, I love that shit. It's like I'm figuring out a puzzle. It's kind of like dealing with people, you just figure it out as you go along. You're bound to make mistakes, but eventually you'll nurture something you like, even if there are bumps in the road. Plus, sometimes you can splice them together and make some sick-ass hybrid plant. Make something new. Plus, like humans, plants are also made from stardust. So I'm basically growing stars, and that's pretty damn metal if you ask me. But you know the best part? What? They're still alive. Despite everything. Despite how much I messed up. They're still alive. I spent a lot of my time at Hope's Peak Academy ignoring Mint. I think out of everyone there, he saw that I was what I was really like. He saw what I was really like the best. He saw how messy, self-destructive, and just pathetic I really was. But despite that, he would still let me he would still tell me to take care of myself. Bring me tea, let me have some of his lunch so I'd get a vegetable or two in my system. We were never friends, but he tried to help me anyway. I was too stupid to accept it at the time. I thought I'd roped him. I'd get him roped up in my bullshit. I thought I'd just ruin him. And maybe before all of this would have... maybe before... Fuck, I didn't read that properly. But, well, I know it's just me making shit up to make myself feel better, but keeping his plants alive in that way, keeping his memory alive, it makes me feel like I haven't completely disrespected his memory. I think if he saw you now, he'd be proud of how far you've come. I think it wouldn't be far enough yet, but I mean, neither of us can really speak for him or what he would have wanted. At least it makes Zeke happy. I guess I'm just starting to worry that. Never mind, that's not really your problem. You sure? Yeah, don't worry about it, man. Just... thanks for listening. I don't know, it's refreshing. Sorry if it was, like, lame or whatever. If you ask me, I think it was one of the best times I've had talking to you. Okay, we don't need to lie. I get the point. I'm serious! Lyra sat with me a bit and talked about a myriad of interests she had. Old movies, astrology, music, old politics. She kept apologizing for being a bore and insisted we could talk about something else if I wanted. But it was nice to hear talking about what she was actually interested in for once. It seemed no matter how big the supernova was, Lyra had a way of gathering up the debris and making her own little universe. One she kept tucked away to herself, letting others be distracted by the blinding light of her dying star imploding. In hopes it wouldn't get sucked away too into the black hole that would inevitably form to destroy whatever she'd built once more. Level 4. A grief made of stardust. I was just getting ready to settle into bed and slip into my pajamas for the evening when I heard a small knock on my door. Hesitantly, I opened it and... Asuka, can I... Asuka quickly slipped a finger onto my lips, shushing me, talking to me in a quiet whisper. Shh, come on, follow me, try not to make too much noise! This was probably a bad idea, but I trusted Asuka enough to hope they wouldn't hurt me. I quietly slipped into the common room with Asuka and tiptoed up the stairs to the hallway where the others, minus Dr. Alenius and Fu, were waiting. Still don't know why we had to invite him of all people. Zeke, I told you already, we all need to be in this together if we're gonna get through this. She's right, you know. I know, just don't want to cap off my already shitty day with charity work. What exactly is this charity work in this scenario? Dealing with you and Sam, duh! What exactly did you need me for? It's pretty late. Oh, right, let me explain! Even if Alora isn't doing anything malicious yet, doesn't mean things are always going to be that way. You know what it's like with people in power. They get a taste of authority and they just can't stop exploiting it. I'm not going to say anything. It's best I bite my tongue here about the irony of this Asuka of all people saying that. True. And if she's smart about this, she'll try to keep us divided to make sure we don't feel like we've got enough support or manpower to go against her. Exactly, that's why I was thinking. Every day from now on, we should have secret meetings at night. One she doesn't know about and can't interfere with or listen to. Really reminding me of another 2, Chapter 4. That way we'll always have a space to talk and plan if things do go south. This all feels like a little bit too much for a hypothetical. I think she genuinely is just trying to help right now. I mean, she took away a man's hair dye. Well, it's good to be diligent just in case. My best guess is, knowingly or not, she's going to be overly cautious around Asuka. I reckon she knows Asuka in particular isn't exactly her biggest fan. I mean, she cannot exactly blame them for that. True, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna start getting paranoid that Asu is planning something against her. We should keep an eye on how she treats Asuka in particular, just in case. This all feels a little too far. Dr. Alenius, even if she made some pretty big mistakes, was certain to look out for the wider interests of the group. I'm just a little apprehensive about her controlling your dosage again. It's something she could easily exploit down the line. We can cross that barrier when we get there. I mean, if she dies, then we know who's at fault. Well, it's best to preemptively have a plan in case the situation becomes dire, is it not? I guess so, but I feel like if we start immediately assuming the worst, it's just going to make us all more paranoid and irrational ourselves. We should only really act if she does start slipping into these behaviors. I get that, but we should still be paranoid. Besides, if you already have someone's life in your hands, it might make it easier to do it for a second time. Asuka froze up and shut their mouth quickly. The silence that fell around us made it clear why. Footsteps. Someone was approaching. Could only really be 2 people if either of them caught us. It was sure to stir things down the line. I watched Asuka's eyes dart to both ends of the hall. It's gonna be Amelia, isn't it? Wondering which end to run, but these hallways were so echoey. Either way we went, we were bound to be caught. But there was one option we'd neglected to think of that Asuka quickly chose in the moment. They slipped open the door to the warden's office and ushered us in. I don't really know why I went along with it at the moment. It was a terrible idea, but I suppose the sense of urgency made me move before I processed what I was doing. And before I knew it, we were closing the door behind us in the warden's office. It could have been the janitor, too! All letting out a collective sigh of relief. We were so overcome by it. We almost forgot where we were. The fuck? Oh, no. I'm sorry, can I help you? Sorry, we were just... Weird to see the whole group of you in here. I barely get any of you coming in. Let alone an entire private party's worth of ultimates. What the hell do you want? What's it to you? Listen, we'll leave in a sec. Sorry for disturbing you, or whatever. Excuse me. But we just need to hide here for a few minutes. Whatever. It's not my business. I can care less about what you all do. If we're going to host these daily check-in meetings, we've got to find a more secure location. The hallway is far too exposed. I'm trying to think of more secluded areas, maybe the medicine storage or library. Could the faith room work? No one goes too far from the common room at night. Precisely. So if we're seen walking back from anywhere too far afield, it'll be seen as suspicious. I guess the labs are close enough to the cells, but if Alora's gonna be anywhere outside her cell at night, it's gonna be there. And the canteen is way too exposed. I mean, we could postpone or hold off on the meetings unless she does something noteworthy? No way. We need to catch on to every little thing. At the first sign of trouble, we all gotta be on the same page about how we're gonna deal with it. If you need a place to meet every night, you're free to use my office. Huh? What? Wait, really? Are you sure? You won't snitch? To Phil? Or the doctor? No way, I'd sooner die. I don't know, this feels like a trap. Take it or leave it, your choice. If you want to risk getting locked up, then that's not my problem. Fine with you being in here, just don't be too loud and we won't have issues. This was weirdly friendly for Emilia's standards. Or at least shockingly neutral. Neutral. And clearly I wasn't the only person who was a little apprehensive. Ismene pulled us aside and hushed her tone, leaning in slightly. I am uncertain about this. Anyone who trusts someone like her would undoubtedly be a fool. Asuka blinked at Ismene for a moment before letting out a small chuckle and walking past her. Don't you know? I'm a fool! The leader held her hand out to Emilia, who just sort of stared at the outstretched hand. You got yourself a deal, Emmy? Don't call me that. Alright, got it, Emilia. I promise we won't be too loud. Yeah, whatever. Emilia clicked her tongue and spun around on her chair a bit to face away from us. Go figure. It's always something with Asu. I don't know how they do it. Don't know either, but I'm not gonna bitch about it if it means we've got a good place to meet each night. So, we'll assemble here again tomorrow? Mm-hmm. Same time, same place? How can we be so sure that Emilia won't snitch? I mean, I respect your confidence here, Asuka, but... She won't, I'm sure of it. And you know that because... Call it intuition. You're way too trusting for your own good. Gotta give it to her, though. If you never give anyone a chance, you'll just end up alone. I feel like this is a bit of a different situation. Psh, tomato, tomato! Stranger, the person keeping us here hostage in a death game. What's really the difference at the end of the day? I don't know if you're trying to be supportive here or not. If you're so convinced I'm gonna snitch, no one is forcing you to have them here. You can all fuck off and get caught somewhere else for all I care. Wow, she's charming, isn't she? Let's just give it a chance. Doesn't matter if it doesn't work out. But just trust me on this, alright? Alright, I trust you. Same here. I guess we don't have much other choice. Fine. Alright, see you again same time tomorrow. We can get through this easy peasy if we're in it together. Just you wait. And just like that, we started having our very bizarre evening meetings. I couldn't help but feel a little uncomfortable, having Emilia's eyes practically burning into the back of my head, and being forced into a room with both Ezekiel and Ismene at the moment. But Asuka's optimism was a little too infectious, and I felt like I didn't really have any grounds to disagree with them. So wary of what the motive would hold tomorrow, I found myself drifting to sleep, making the most of what I assumed would be the last relatively peaceful day in the prison for a while. Game? Okay. Oh, The Curious Case of Alora Alenius, Tape 2. Please make your case for the jury.
I've always done what I thought was
What's this?
ever since I was a child.
Okay, so Alora isn't gonna die.
I've always tried to be sensible and mature. Even when I was doing horrible things, I always believed it was for the greater good. I may have made errors in the past, but I need to rectify them. I need to take this final chance to do what's right. I cannot afford to be immature or irrational right now. I cannot be childish. Of course. Faster than most.
Liar.
I had to. I had no other choice.
Liar.
Even if we cannot find an escape, I will keep people alive. I will keep everyone here safe. Even if they hate me in the process.
Like her?
It's not... No. I learned from that. That's why... Taka, It's why I made that choice. I didn't want to prolong his suffering. I didn't want to make the same mistake again.
Was that your choice to make?
I thought I knew best. I thought... Who am I kidding? I can't justify this. In the end, my mistake was never keeping them alive or ending their suffering.
Then what was it? What was it?
I made those choices for them. I never stopped to consider what they wanted just because I assumed I knew best. Because if I didn't know best, then what even am I?
She's gonna do some fucky-wucky shit.
I'm meant to be mature. I'm meant to know best. I'm meant to know what's correct in every situation! If I didn't, then I'm no better than...
How childish. How childish.
I'm sorry.
How childish.
Don't give up on me. I'll try harder. I'll do it right this time. I won't make any more mistakes. Please, please, don't lose faith in me.
How childish.
I'm good. I promise. I'm good. I'm not a failure. I'm not. I can't be.
Then what are you?
I don't know.
Take out your earpiece. Take out your earpiece.
I can't.
You really are no better than a child. Emilio, what are we even doing, bro? I woke up the next morning to the comforting smell of sizzling meat wafting? I don't know. Into my room. It had been months since someone had made a proper cooked breakfast in this prison. It was oddly comforting and a little bit unsettlingly nostalgic. But the warm smell of meat slowly became stronger and stronger, until it bordered on being scorched. Wait, no. I was just smelling burning. Something was burning. I quickly shot up. I should try to find where that burning smell is coming from. My first guess was the canteen. Alright, let's go then. I entered the canteen to see a very odd pair being stationed in the kitchen together. I specifically told you to cook it on medium-low. If you had it on high, then it's no wonder you burnt it. God damn it, it's not burnt, it's just crispy. I don't know why you ask me to make breakfast anyway. Couldn't you have just done it yourself with your special murderer privileges or whatever? Elias, as one of the worthy prisoners, it's imperative you learn to actively provide and cater to those who cannot access the kitchen supplies. Well, right now you can access them just fine. The only person who can't is La. She usually skips breakfast. You could have just done this on your own. Do you really think anyone would have trusted food from me alone at this stage? And who's to blame for that? Good morning. Ah, Kutsuki. Kutsuki. Good morning. Me and Elias. We're just preparing breakfast for everyone. Wow, it smells. Ezekiel glared at me for a moment. Well done. It could be better, I know, but I thought we could offer everyone something as thanks for gathering here this morning. Now we know who Suicide Pact 7 Stephen was. We don't gotta worry about the breakfast being tainted, I guess. I'm guessing you want everyone present when you pick the motive condition each day? Correct. I know people do not particularly trust me right now, so I thought it would be good to get everyone's input. I think they'll feel a lot more at ease with my warden position that way. You can't blame them if they don't, though. You can make as many breakfasts as you like, but be as open as you like and go into this with all sorts of good intentions. It's not gonna erase what you did. I know, but I couldn't live with myself if I didn't do what I could now. I don't think anyone can fault you for that. Thank you, Kutsuki. I'm just surprised Zeke agreed to it. Yeah, well, can't say I'm all that happy about it. Huh? We'll talk about it later. At least we'll have something to talk about at those meetings. Now, Elias, we'll get this all plated for when the others arrive. Yeah, whatever. The slightly charred breakfasts were served up as the others arrived. Waited, what? Oh. All of us having a fairly awkward breakfast as we waited for the inevitable. After a bit of stilted small talk. Aw, look at you! You're like a terrible dysfunctional family gathered for dinner when you're all sitting here like this. Sorry if we kept you waiting. We thought it might take you all a bit longer to get here. Usually you're not all this organized. I just wanted to be well informed on the decisions Alora was making. Rest assured, I'll do my best to take everyone's thoughts into account while making my decision. So, what are the choices today? Well, I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but it's been quite a bit since we've restocked the medicine storage or any of your food. I did notice. Usually you restock them weekly, but things have been dwindling quite a bit. Well, much like the government decided access to healthcare and food was a luxury, not a basic human right. I don't know. I think the only two countries that voted that it wasn't a human right were the United States, which most of these people aren't from the United States, I think. And Iran? Since it requires the labor of others, it's said that both of these things are luxuries in the prison as well, and have decided to suspend restocks indefinitely until the next murder. Oh, that's some BS and you know it. Well, you weren't exactly saying that when Hope's Peak was slipping you rocks under the table, were you? Say shit like that to her again and I'll give you reason to get another gold tooth, asshole. For once I found myself supporting something Ezekiel said. So, what is the choice here? Since we're oh so kind, we'll resume restocks of one of them. You get to pick which one it is. So it's between food and medicine. How are both of them looking right now? Pretty bad. We've knocked through a lot of the essential medical supplies patching my wound. And as much as we've tried, Asuga's wound isn't going to heal anytime soon. It needs continuous treatment. but the food ain't looking much better. You're basically just on cans and a few frozen bits now. Doesn't really help that someone burnt the last of her bacon to a crisp. If you're gonna be a little bitch about it, go ahead and starve for all I care. Shit, so both are pretty dire right now. Alright, I'll pick the medicine to be restocked. Is that your final decision? Of course. We can far more easily produce our own food in the prison than we can synthesize our own medical supplies. And I cannot risk Santil or Chatel's lives on that like that. But isn't restricting food risking all of our lives? On average, we can survive a few weeks without food. I have faith we can stretch out our current food supply long enough for us to find or create a sustainable way to produce more food with our current resources. How confident are you on that? Completely, but only if everyone agrees to collaborate here. If these are the types of conditions we'll have to pick between, then the best way to navigate this motive might be to plan around them and delegate tasks daily. Especially if this follows the pattern the previous motives did and increase in severity the longer they persist. I'm not just gonna do free labor. If you want me to do that shit, then pay me. Zeke, if there's a time to swallow your pride, it's now. We've all got to be in this together. Besides, if we're all always working, it'll probably help minimize the opportunities people will have to go behind others' backs and execute any plans they might have. Precisely. But, of course, this will only work if everyone complies here. So with that in mind, the medicine storage is my final decision. Then that's settled. No more food restocks for the foreseeable future, but we'll restock the medical supplies tomorrow. Now I've got to nip off to sort that all out, but good luck! Looking forward to seeing how you all navigate this. The cat and Fu walked out, leaving just the 6 of us in the canteen. Alright, let's establish this now. Every day after the condition has been chosen, we will all split into pairs and be assigned different jobs to aid in the sourcing and production of food and anything else we may need. Afterwards, we'll reconvene, address any potential issues that may have popped up and report what we've done, and if the work is satisfactory, everyone can just continue with their days. Sounds reasonable enough to me. It was a little scary how quickly Dr. Alenius snapped back into her leadership role the second she'd been granted any sense of power, and I was just a little apprehensive about how the others would feel about it, but it was weirdly comforting to just be told what to do. Alright, but if we really disagree with something, then I think we should be allowed to choose to do something else. We'll see on a case-by-case basis. Ultimately, this is for the benefit of all our collective survivals, so realistically no one should have any major objections. Elias, Santil, you two will be in charge of assessing and recording what food supplies we currently have left in the canteen. Once we have a log of what we have, then we can better ration it out. Yeah, sure, I can do that easy. Cersei, Chatel, if you could, it would be good for you to search the rest of the prison for any potential sources of food we've missed. Similarly, if you could do everyone's washing so they can better focus on their own tasks, that would be appreciated. Putting the 2 remaining girls on washing duty. Wow! Oh, don't make a fuss over it. It's not the end of the world. We're gonna learn how to use the washing machine together. I'm sure it would be simple to figure out. You don't know how to use one already? And me and Kutsuke will be in the courtyard trying to see what we can do with the vegetable patches. If all goes to plan, we should hopefully be able to turn it into a consistent, sustainable source of food. Sounds good to me. My dad had a bit of a green thumb, so if I'm going to be able to help with anything, it'll probably be gardening. Yeah, whatever. But just be careful not to damage the other plants in there. We'll try our hardest. Now, does anyone have any objections to any of that? Are those pairings alright for today? I reckon she was playing it safe with the pairings. She probably felt like it was the safest bet to pair with... I was the safest bet to pair with herself. I'd likely result in the fewest objections. Very well. We'll reconvene here in 2 hours and discuss what we found. Kutsugi, let's go to the courtyard. Right, of course. How does this mean he's still alive, dude? What do you mean? I quietly followed Dr. Alenius to the courtyard, an awkward silence filling the air as we went. Oh, wrong button. I had no reason to distrust her currently. She hadn't done anything to warrant everyone's suspicions of her abusing this motive to her advantage. So I felt like I was slightly betraying her by not informing her of the midnight meetings. But even so, the others were justified in feeling apprehensive about her, considering everything that had happened with Taka, and how quickly she'd been able to snap back into her old ways today. So I couldn't snitch on them in good faith either. Not to mention that earpiece, she still hadn't taken it out. Honestly, I was a little worried. But there was no time to dwell on that as we approached the slightly scruffy-looking vegetable patches. Well, here we are. You were really taking charge back there, weren't you? Of course. Is there a problem with it? No, I was just a little surprised. It's been a while since I've seen you like this. Ever since Taka's death, she'd been... There's too much at stake now. I have to do what I can to prolong our survival. If that means detaching myself, then that's just what I'll have to do. It's nothing I haven't done before. But was it really a good thing when you did that in the past? She ignored me and leaned down by the dirt. You've got some lettuce, carrots, potatoes, and wheat. The wheat seems ready to harvest, but we'll have to grind it before we can do anything with it. The other three seem a little undergrown. The patches are full of weeds, but I think with a little support they'll be able to grow properly. Kutsugi, come help me pull out these weeds. Right, of course. I leaned down to help, but I quickly ran into an issue. Alora darted her head to face my direction. Is everything alright, Kutsugi? Yeah, it's just, well, how do you know which are the sprouts and which are the weeds? I thought you said you did a lot of gardening with your father. Well, yes, but he was at the community garden so much his beds were practically perfect. I don't think I ever saw a weed when I came out to help. It sounds like he was dedicated. I envy it, really. I think it's great to be so invested with something so close to nature. You can't really hurt anyone doing gardening. You're just giving back to the earth and take what it gives you in return. It's nice to me. It feels like simple work. Uncomplicated, therapeutic. I can see where you're coming from. I'm sure there's a lot that goes into it, but you don't really have to consider the perspective of anyone else when you garden. It's just you and the earth. I think that must be freeing. I envied Mint's talent a lot. Well, his situation was a little more complicated. He did medical work with his talent as well, no? As soon as you involve other people and their health, things get complicated. You would know, wouldn't you? It was rotten work, honestly. Having to arbitrarily assign value to lives, to decide whose suffering was justifiable in order to potentially save more people in the future. Perhaps that's why I was able to stay so level-headed during the hostage motive. There was nothing I wasn't used to. And maybe that's, in turn, why I struggled so much with truth or dare. It's hard to make choices when it comes to yourself, huh? Especially when you haven't really made any of those in the past. Alora fell silent for a moment. I wasn't quite sure what to say, so I instead just returned to the topic at hand. So, do you have any clue which of these are weeds and which are sprouts? Well, shit. It's something about her gaze averting, or something. I was sort of hoping you'd know. I mean, we could just try to infer. I do not want to risk damaging what sprouts you may have after I already cut off our food supplies. For long-term survival, I'd much rather have already existing crops to start with than have to germinate new seeds. You kids are hopeless, huh? Ah! Standing in the doorway was Fu, looking over at us with an unimpressed expression. Can we help you, Wang? All this theoretical garbage. You guys could write and talk about things all you like. But what good is all that when you lack any sort of practical skills? Here, let me give you a lesson. I'll have to decline. I don't particularly trust you. Why not? I'm an honest man, aren't I? You have quite literally admitted to working with the people behind us. Psh! See, this is the issue with your generation. You get so hung up on the smallest things. Can't we just agree to disagree here? You kids are always so dramatic. I think we're being completely reasonable in maintaining our distance from you. I do not want your antics further impacting our survival. You really think I'd let you totally starve to death? What kind of show would that be? The viewers would be sure to find that far too dull. At a certain point, things get a bit too dramatic, and you totally lose people. It's basic show running. I don't know. Cannibalism is kind of popular these days. Maybe people would find that interesting. Kusuke, please do not give him ideas. Well, if I was going to cut off your food options completely, I'd do it after you'd already put in all the work and effort trying to maintain them. And I think that would be a lot more compelling. Really push you to your breaking point. Here, let me help. I just want to make sure you don't totally botch it. That would be embarrassing. Do you really think anything you have to say will convince us here? Say, I'll tell you what. I'll be sure to eat with all of you. Put myself on the same level as you for a bit. If I mess up the food supply, I'm not going to be eating good either. Why on earth would you do that? I like to have as good of an idea as possible about how my participants are faring. It's exactly why I put myself in the game in the first place, subjecting myself to all the previous motives. Of course, I wouldn't have actually put myself in any real danger. But if I knew part of what you were all going through, I could know when I needed to step in and ramp up a situation to make things worse, you feel? Well, I mean, if he's going to be eating with us, then we might as well let him help a bit. It would sabotage him as well if he sabotaged us. I'm not willing to take that risk here. Well, do we have any other choice? Surely one of the others would know better how to differentiate weeds from crops. Well, Asuka was always traveling, so I don't think they have much gardening experience. Sminny doesn't know how to do most household tasks, and I don't think gardening would be an exception. Lyra is Lyra. I don't think she's even been out of a city, let alone as much of a gardener at all. Our best bet would be Ezekiel, but that's only hinging on Mint having taught him this before he passed. And Ezekiel was the one acting as Mint's teacher. Let me give you this bit of help, come on! Dr. Alenius let out a hefty sigh, pinching the bridge of her nose. I knew too this was something of a horrible idea, but I was honestly a little intrigued by Fu's offer. He was clearly giving it for a reason. If nothing else, this could be an opportunity to gather insight. Alright. Perfect. Let me show you how it's done. Fu took off his jacket and rolled up his sleeves, moving toward one of the vegetable beds. He explained to us the different weeds that tended to pop up, what they did, how to get rid of them, and a lot more in pretty big detail. He also helped us better fertilize the soil and gave us instructions on how to care for each of the crops. He took off his jacket.
And if you want to get the tomatoes and grapes to start germinating again, you might want to stick some supports in them. Real cheap and easy to make. Just some sticks and string. Otherwise, they won't be able to handle their own weight and snap in no time.
The more crops we have growing, the better. It would be good to get a wider variety of them anyway.
I'm just surprised neither of you kids knew how to do any of this. Did your parents seriously teach you nothing?
It wasn't ever particularly relevant to what I was going to go into.
Same here. I knew from a pretty young age I wanted to be a writer, so I usually spent my time too cooped up indoors to really help my dad with his garden.
I pity you kids. Really. These days, every parent has fallen over themselves to try to get their kids a talent that they'll pigeonhole them into something they've decided they liked when they were a child, and turn a blind eye if their kid wants to do anything else.
It's more effective than trying to force a child to master a variety of subjects. It means they'll be a lot more proficient at whichever career they do pursue, even if they fail to get an ultimate.
But it means they'll be totally incompetent at anything else. What a sad society, where someone else can decide for you what you're gonna be, and you're just stuck there.
Well, you were an ultimate too. They decided you were going to be a salesman, and that clearly worked out for you.
Nah, I chose that for myself. Growing up, I mainly did farming. We were stuck in some dead-end rural village where you farmed because that was really the only opportunity around. My old lady wanted to be a singer, you know, but she was told there was no chance. It was safer to just stay in the same sorry life her parents had, of farming and living hand to mouth on the poverty line. But I could tell she always resented it. She gave me the option of farming, sure. But she always told me there was more to life. We weren't just stuck in poverty. That if I had something I wanted to do, then I should do it, no matter what it took to get there.
No matter the cost?
I don't think she ever imagined the price I'd have to pay. But I got there. Even if I slightly cheated myself up there, I think I deserve a damn shortcut after struggling for so long. But I just found myself surrounded by people who had no real idea of what life was actually like. It was funny, really. It was about the time I was in Hope's Peak that they started to place more focus on Ultimates running more welfare and charity programs. And I had all these idiots around me who had no idea what life was actually like. They had no idea what people really needed. They had no idea of anything really outside of their talents. But they were expected to look outside of it and already know. Just because they were arbitrarily decided to be the best of the best in whatever they did.
Well, they must clearly hold some merit if they got a title in the first place.
You kids are good. You make me laugh. Really. You're the stupidest geniuses I've ever met. Makes me a little sad, honestly.
He seemed to pause, a strange sense of sincerity in his tone as he looked at us, with a weird mix of pity and grief.
But who am I to say anything? That should be the crops sorted. No need to thank me. I'm sure you can make it up to me later.
I don't think that was part of your original proposal.
It's me. You should know by now. Everything comes with a price.
I don't know what else I expected from him.
Well, I'll leave you two crazy kids at it, to it. You've got it from here, I'm sure. And if you somehow manage to kill them when I've already done half the work for you, it's just kind of natural selection if you starve at that point. Fu gave us a small wave and left, leaving both me and Dr. Alenius alone and slightly confused. His behavior is a little concerning. I can't seem to get a consistent grasp on him. It's almost like... never mind. Either way, we should keep an eye on him. At least we got the crop sorted out, though. That's something at the very least, isn't it? True. That does grant me a bit of relief. It's a shame, though. How so? When we were sorting it all out and Fu was explaining it all to us, I kept on getting distracted. All I could think is that All I could think is that this is the type of job Taka would have loved to do. I think he would have had a lot of fun with it. Her eyes drifted toward the pond in the corner of the courtyard. My mouth almost instantly went dry. I didn't really know how to navigate this. We should probably meet up with the others soon. Right, sorry, yes. It was weird, really. How quiet the prison was now. Alora acting like you didn't do all that, I'm crying. I miss Taka. Guys, I think I miss my Taka. Here, we wrote down exactly what we've got. If we operate on the assumption we all need about 2,000 calories a day, then we could all survive for about a week. It's not exactly going to be the most well-rounded diet, but it'll be something. If we cut that down to at least 1,500, we should all be able to still eat enough and keep our remaining rations lasting longer. I mean, I guess, but that really wouldn't be ideal. I'll have to think. I'll have to think and secure a proper ration plan for us all to follow tomorrow. For now, please can I request no one take anything from the canteen without reporting it, just so we can know for sure what we do and don't have. Fine by me. How did you and Chatel's task go? Find anything notable? Oh, yeah, like, the washing line was fine and shit. No worries there. We looked around for food, but there really wasn't much about. Aside from the gym, the vending machine in there has a few snacks and sugary drinks that have yet to be taken out. That sounds promising. Calorie dense at the very least. Probably give you a bit of a stomachache, though. How was the courtyard? Are the vegetables patches looking okay? We managed to tidy them up pretty well. It might take a bit for things to grow, though. The wheat is ready to harvest. It might be worth trying to grind it and seeing if we can make flour. Even if we don't have yeast, with flour and water alone we can make flatbreads. Sounds like our diet is going to be real exciting from here on out. Oh, shut up, Zeke. Don't act like you haven't lived on nothing but chicken nuggets and pizza for half of your life.
It's easy and healthy.
What part of that is healthy?
The tomato sauce. It's a vegetable.
This is going to give me a migraine. I just hope we'll at least be able to eat somewhat healthy. Even if we don't have many options. We'll draw that bridge when we get to it. Regardless, thank you all for complying today. I'm glad we were able to get at least a bit of a better grasp on the whole situation. I think it's best to keep assigning tasks like this going forward. It helps keep everyone busy and helps resolve potential issues quickly.
Well, it's not like we can exactly say no to them, can we?
You knew it was bad when not even Ismene was arguing with something Ezekiel was saying. I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Cersei, if you could come to the canteen early to prepare breakfast, and that would be wonderful. I'll try my best to sort out the ration plan by then. Have the afternoon off. You did good work today. Thank you. Without addressing Ezekiel, Dr. Alenius slunk away, and the rest of us quickly followed suit. Admittedly, I was tired from the work earlier. From the earlier work I'd done, really made us put some sweat into it. Not to mention, even if I was fine at the evening meetings, it felt a little awkward to be alone with the rest of the group right now, considering most of their thoughts on me. So I spent some time resting and relaxing, but I did feel terribly unproductive. Maybe I could try to find someone to spend some time with to pass the day. Well, we will do more free time next time. I want to see who's out there, actually. It's probably going to be another thing. No, it's not. Nobody's out down here. Oh, okay. Wow. Crazy. Alright. Well, I will... Oh, 22! How did you jump from 9 to 22? Holy fuck. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. I will see you all next time. And I guess we'll finish Lyra's events? Probably? Maybe? I don't know. Bye-bye!